Hey folks, it's Man once again. Welcome back to another review. And this is another film that Till from Germany sent me. And that is Downtown. Now, Downtown is a 1990 movie starring Anthony Edwards and Forest Whitaker. Two actors I really enjoy. Directed by Richard Benjamin. Now, Richard Benjamin, he's an actor. And I forgot that he acted in, he's actually one of the stars of Westworld. He was also in a really shitty movie called Saturday the 14th. And he's actually directed quite a few films, Richard Benjamin. He directed City Heat, which sucked. But he directed The Money Pit, which I really enjoyed. Little Nikita, which I've heard of. My Stepmother's an Alien. Mermaids. Made in America. Milk Money. Marcy X. Yeesh. Fuck that. But Downtown is a... Shit. Have my webcam. Make sure it's okay. Downtown is a really enjoyable film. Buddy movie. Pretty much Anthony Edwards is a cop who was sort of in the nicer parts of LA, but he stopped the wrong person. And because he did, and you later find out that the chief of police is in on the crooks, actually the main crook is played by David Clinton. He's the guy, he's Palmer in John Carter's The Thing. In John Carter's The Thing, he's the guy who's like, "You've gotta be fucking kidding." That's David Clinton in The Thing, and he's actually the bad guy in this. Sort of businessman type of guy, and who's got his fingers in some higher ups, including the police force. So Anthony Edwards, who was doing the right thing, gets knocked down to downtown. And actually, the first day he's there, there's a robbery and there's a big shootout, and Forrest Whitaker comes out wearing plain clothes with a shotgun, grabs Anthony Edwards, and I want to make sure you can actually see this. And that scene there. And what's going on? He's like, "Oh, yeah, you guys go, I got you covered." And then Forrest Whitaker knocks the bad guy out, and you find out that Forrest Whitaker is another cop, and he's using this poor guy as bait to get them loosened up so Forrest Whitaker can knock them down. I thought that was a nice way to start it off. And pretty much is Anthony Edwards trying to fit in. And Forrest Whitaker's character, I liked his character because he's a character who doesn't want a partner. And he gives Anthony Edwards a lot of grief. And you found out why, because he only had one partner before. And there's a nice little scene between the two where he tells about how his partner had told him to stay in the car, which is something that Forrest Whitaker tells this guy throughout the film. Forrest Whitaker stayed in the car, his partner went out and got killed. And ever since then, he didn't want another partner. And then during that scene, he looks at him and is like, "So you want to be my second partner?" So I thought these two worked very well together. I got a lot of chuckles out of it. Art Evans, he's the guy in Die Hard 2 who, if you remember Die Hard 2, the sequence where Robert Patrick goes, "You're sitting duck," and starts shooting everybody, and there's one guy left, and that's when John McClane goes in, does business, kills Robert Patrick, and saves the guy. That's Art Evans, and he's the captain in here. I thought, oh, it was nice to see him in another movie. There's moments where like Anthony Edwards tries to stop something, and then he gets thrown out, and all his clothes have been taken. There's another scene where you have this guy who's on, what do they call it? He's on dust. He's got like a kid hostage. And because the guy's crazy, Anthony Edwards does something crazy where he gets on the microphone and pretends to be God. And this is right after he ate some stuff that Forrest Whitaker gave him, and it had something like, was it pig snouts or tentacles or some stuff that made him sick when he heard about it. It's one of those scenes that he's eating something, and okay, you know there's something in there, and then Forrest Whitaker spills the beans. So while he's on this microphone, he's also puking, which makes the crazy guy freak out and let it go. So I thought that was fun that, Anthony Edwards used his head. He's not a dumb guy. Oh, and you also have Joe Pantoliano, say his name right, Joe Pantoliano in the film, who was in The Goonies. He's in this film called The Final Terror, The Matrix, Daredevil. Joe Pantoliano, you've seen him in a lot of movies. He's in this as one of the working with the bad guys, and he's actually doing a business with someone. Cop gets involved, doing his job, and Joe Pantoliano slits the guy's throat, and you find out the guy is actually is a friend as well as former partner of Anthony Edwards. He really wants to get involved with the case. David Clett and Joe Pantoliano are dealing with like cars, like they take cars, they go over here, they come back, there's drugs in them, stuff like that. Gets Forrest Whitaker involved into it. Uh, Actually bonds with Forrest Whitaker's family, with the Beach Boys, which pisses Forrest Whitaker off because he gets annoyed by the music, which leads to a very funny ending, which I'll talk about. And like, there's some funny stuff. There's some nice bits of action we'll get to, but there's also some good bonding. I mean, like a lot of these films, it ends up with the two partners fighting each other. And of course, it's because Forrest Whitaker doesn't want him to get hurt. It's like, you don't know your way around here. You don't know what it's like. And of course, he had a partner, which you find out after this, was killed. And some nice bonding moments. I like the two guys together. Uh, oh, this scene here where he's being chased. Forrest Whitaker is grabbing these two guys while all these guys start chasing Anthony Edwards. Thought that was a fun sequence. And pretty much, long story short, he gets Forrest Whitaker involved, and they look into some computers. They found out what's going on, and then I remember the first time I saw this because I had this on VHS, and I thank Till for sending. If he's watching, I really thank him for sending this because I really wanted this on DVD because I really enjoy this film. I think this is an underrated film. It's a film that doesn't get talked about a lot. Like no one ever talks about downtown. And I guarantee you, when I upload this review, there'll probably be only like maybe 2 or 3 comments at most, because that's par for the course lately. And plus, it's a film that not many people have known about, which is what I like doing. I like talking about movies that not many people have talked about. And this is an underrated movie. It's an entertaining film. But it was surprising the first time I saw this film is this guy pulls up and Forrest Whitaker gets shot. And he's in the hospital, and Anthony Edwards goes in on his own, gets captured, and Art Evans and the other cops get in there, help out. I like that Art Evans takes care of the bad police chief. That was nice. And you get some fun stuff like Joe Pantoliano gets on top of Anthony Edwards' car, and Anthony Edwards hits something, so he flies into a wood chipper. And you see some, I mean, this is an R-rated film. I think it's it's an R-rated film. So you see some, bloody splats. So it's like, wow, Joe Pantoliano just got thrown into a fucking wood chipper. And then you have a fun action scene where he's chasing David Clennon, fun car chase. They both smash into the more cleaner police station that Anthony Edwards used to be in, and reads David Clennon his rights as they're both like bloodied up. And I love the way it ends, where now they're both in the hospital, Forrest Whitaker and Anthony Edwards. And Anthony Edwards has like a little radio when he puts on the Beach Boys. And that wakes Forrest Whitaker up. It looks at him and looks at the radio and shakes his head. He pulls his gun out, puts it right to the radio while Anthony Edwards is singing the Beach Boys song. And you just hear, and then end credits start. So it's kind of sad that Forrest Whitaker kind of disappears for the third act because of that. Because usually, I mean, the two of them are together in the third act when buddy movies. But I still enjoy the film. Still really like the film. You see, Forrest Whitaker did teach Anthony Edwards some tricks and at least how to survive downtown. And actually, Penelope Ann Miller's in this, playing Anthony Edwards' woman in the film. And actually, Gail Ann Hurd had a hand in producing this. Gail Ann Hurd, who had worked with James Cameron in a lot of movies. And if you're wondering, this is a DVD from overseas. It's in widescreen. There's no features. But I'm just glad I have this on DVD. I think this is an underrated film. I think Anthony Edwards and, again, Anthony Edwards' Forrest Whitaker worked very well together. Music by Alan Silvestri. Some bits that made me chuckle. It's not an action-packed movie, so if you're going downtown expecting action, and definitely if you're expecting a lot of action, you'll be disappointed. It's less about action and more about, a buddy movie. These guys working together and, some of the humorous stuff that goes into it. But there's a couple decent bits of action, especially at the end. But I think for a film that no one talks about, and no one talks about downtown, it's an entertaining movie. I really enjoy the film. Really liked it. Trying to think. I'm trying to think. I don't want to give everything away, but I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Oh yeah, even his nice car that he brought there. By the time he gets back, everything's been taken. And I thought these two worked well together. I think that's the big reason why I enjoy the film. I like these two actors. I thought they worked well together. I thought there's some decent bits of action. It was exciting enough. And I could definitely say I like this film more than Delta Heat, which is another buddy film that Anthony Edwards was in, which I reviewed. That's one he did with Lance Henriksen. I thought this film just was better paced and had a lot more going for it. Felt like maybe, I wouldn't say a bigger budget, but it felt like a little bit more stuff was going on than Delta Heat. I don't know, it's like Delta Heat felt a little bit cheaper of a film. And I just thought this film worked better as an Anthony Edwards buddy movie than Delta Heat. And I liked it more than like Bullet to the Head and shit like that. So, underrated film, definitely worth a look if you like these two actors, if you like buddy movies. Don't go in expecting lots of action. And when the action's there, it's not like high-tech, high-octane action. Don't expect that. But a couple chuckles and really enjoy the movie. Really enjoyed these two. But anyway, that's just my thoughts and little review on Downtown. Fun movie. And feel free to check it out if you want. But thanks for watching. Take care. And we'll see you on the next one. Later.